Welcome, Mel. Really happy to have you here and have you share about your journey and your progress in a Lean Body Accelerator. So, welcome. Tell us a little bit about
Thank you.
who you are.
Thank you. Yeah, so my name is Melissa. I am 40 years old. I live in New Jersey. I have 4 children, one husband. I work as a medical scientist for a pharmaceutical company. Yeah, so that's me.
And what made you decide to jump into the Lean Body Accelerator and work with me as opposed to doing any other program out there?
Yeah, well, it what really resonated with me was that you took that mind body approach. My specialty in medicine is cardiometabolic disease. I literally have lived and breathed diabetes and obesity since I was 24 years old, so over 25 years ago. And I realized last year I had a bit of an awakening that these pharmaceutical companies and the doctors, myself being one, have it all wrong. That it wasn't about creating some molecule that could come and save you or put a band-aid on you, that this was much deeper than that. And that this goes, from the time a human is born till where they are, today. And I knew it. I knew it. It was deep in my gut. I felt it. Last year, and just everything that you stand for just really resonated with me, that this was like a revolution, that that we have it all wrong.
Tell me about what it was really about for you. What happened during the time we worked together?
Yeah, so for me, and I know that it's different for everybody else, and once those layers uh, have been pulled back, and they're not done yet, I realize that, every day it's like peeling another piece of a layer. But for me, this was about self love, loving myself enough. And the other huge thing was, specifically when it comes to eating or even exercising, being active, for me was about this desperate need for some joy or some fun or some freedom, or even not being my time not being dictated what I have to do, if that makes sense. So for me, as a kid growing up, where food was used for celebrations, or I didn't have to worry about my weight or things like that, as an adult, I realize now that I was going to that, or go to that, as that feeling of freedom or joy, or like I said before, even like not having someone decide what I'm going to do or what I have to do. So I'm going to eat this cookie because it's my decision. There's no kid telling me where to be or what. Does that make sense? It was a freedom kind of thing.
For sure. And so
Mhm.
what helped you realize that throughout the process that I've taken you through?
You.
Okay. What about me specifically?
It's so funny too, because as these things would come up all the time throughout the past 12 weeks, I kind of intuitively became very aware of lots of things, everything, of, even the bird that's outside my window right now that sounds so beautiful. I became very aware of everything. And I knew when I had to go deeper, um, that there had to be some reason behind it. And you knew those perfect questions to ask, that I genuinely don't feel that you were reading off of a piece of paper. Like, you knew that's what I needed and were able to take me deeper on things that even I thought couldn't go any deeper.
Was there like one big breakthrough for you, or like an epiphany where you went like, oh, that's it, or like, or several even, if you can like kind of remember some?
Yeah, I got to be honest, they happen all the time.
Are there some like key ones that you can recall?
Yeah, I can give you a few. Some of them aren't, as happy and joyful there because it hasn't, it wasn't an easy thing at all. And the big thing that came up for me was probably in about week 6 or 7, after I had started, learning more about my my hormones and what that meant emotionally, intuitively, all of those things, and how in my winter, or excuse me, in my fall, prior in your PMS period, period of your cycle, that things come up for review. And I really had, like, I know it might sound silly to some people that are listening to this, but by the third time I went through that, because I've been doing this for 12 weeks, I was really able to honor that time. And I almost felt like I had some sort of hack into the universe of, wow, like, okay, now I have this opportunity to review all these things super intuitively, you know, and have this great awareness. In any case, I used that time to really review things that were coming up for me, that were consistently coming up for me. And I realized that I had a lot of, I don't really want to say toxic relationships, but relationships that kind of weigh me down, things that I need to work on.
Mhm.
And that directly relates to what I eat and how active I am and my stress responses and all of these things. So that was actually a really uh, a pretty awakened moment that I had. One of the biggest things that you have showed me was about the ability to change any story at all. And that is so huge. And learning that resonating with me has literally changed my life and my children's life. When I want to exercise, I ask them to join me. So they did. And my 4-year-old son is actually the one that usually does that. And we meditate together, we do yoga together, and we exercise together. And in any case, well, I took a little vacation while I was in the program, and we went to the Grand Canyon. And my son looks up at me and, was like tugging on my shirt. And it was obviously very beautiful. And he says, "Mommy, let's sit and breathe and give gratitude." And it literally,
Oh. Mm.
so powerful, so powerful. So we sat on the side of the Grand Canyon and did that. And he was grateful, and he was 4, and he was grateful for his life and being there and being able to see this, massive beauty. That was huge.
Was there a specific turning point at some point throughout the program?
Um, I, like, I honestly mean this, that like every day is transformational. It's not, I don't think it's been one moment. It's been so many moments, a collective of them, that have really changed, but is just in that very flowing state, very calm, very empowered to, open to whatever is going to happen, whether it be positive or negative. I'm grateful for everything, even the things that don't feel so good and are uncomfortable. I'm still grateful for them. And every time I was about to get onto a conference call, I was literally having true textbook panic attacks, heart racing, feeling like I can't breathe, vomiting, and then dry heaving, you know, freaking out on my kids just so that I could like project energy out of me because it was so strong. And that's completely gone. If I feel it creeping up a little bit, I use, one of the tools that you gave me, and I'm actually able to use that within, it used to take me 15 minutes to do it. Now it could take me like 30 seconds to a minute to completely self-regulate, get out of that state, and, move on. And then I always make sure that I am super grateful for being able to do that. And it keeps that cycle going.
What would you say was the biggest win or the biggest tangible results during the time that we worked together?
Physically or any of it?
Okay, let's start physically. And then we can go like into the mental or emotional even.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to tell you physically. So I'm completely different physically. So there's a few things I have to tell you. My rosacea is completely gone. I don't know what happened to my gray hair, but I can't find it anymore and it's not coming back. And that was something before I started that I was like, gosh, here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Like it's completely gone. I don't know if it fell out while I was sleeping, but it's not there. I don't dye my hair and there's no new ones coming in. The other thing is, my body. So my stomach is flat. Like I don't feel my stomach on my thighs anymore when I'm standing there, which I know sounds completely gross, but it's, it's flat. My clothes obviously fit way different, but my shape just looks very different. I look so much more feminine. The way I stand is more feminine. It's completely different. The anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like honestly debilitating. So I think I told you this before. So this time last year is about when I came off of medication, but I was taking an antidepressant, an anti-anxiety, a mood stabilizer, and massive doses of Adderall prescribed by, someone I trusted and actually adored at the time. I don't take any of that, none of it. Like I literally take nothing. So that's huge.